Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about eye contact. Yeah, the topic is eye contact, and particularly eye contact during a speech, although some of this will apply to eye contact situations in general for all of you. So eye contact is something that's sort of expected during a public speech, and yet it doesn't always happen. I mean, we think we're going to have excellent eye contact, and sometimes we don't. Or sometimes we're aware that our eye contact is not everything that we want it to be. And in mainstream presentation culture in the United States, typically in a business meeting or at school, when you give a presentation, you're expected to look the audience in the eye. And yet it can be a challenging thing to do. Now, let's unpack why that would be. I mean, think about why that is something people are nervous about. And I think one of the reasons is because it's so intense. I mean, you've got 30 people in the audience and they've got 30 eyes. Well, actually, they have 2 eyes each, so that's actually 60 eyes looking at you, right? That's a lot, unless there's a pirate in the audience, and then they're missing the one eye because of the sword fight, and then but then the parrot has 2 more eyes, so that adds, I guess we're up to 51 eyes then in that case, or something like that, or 61 eyes. So that's a lot of eyes looking at you, and it's intense. And eye contact communicates honesty, and it can communicate love and intensity. And the eyes are connected to the brain, and the brain is connected to the entire system. So when you look someone in the eyes, you're looking into their brain and all the intensity of that, and that can be a challenge for speakers. So I think the intensity is a factor there. I think beyond that, though, a lot of times if people haven't practiced their speech, sometimes they're looking at their notes too much, or they're looking at their PowerPoint slides too much, and that can happen. The easy solution in a way to that is to practice, although finding time to practice is difficult sometimes, and there's a tedious aspect to practicing. Although I actually think that if you practice your speech a few times, at first it's tedious, and then it becomes actually rewarding and fun, and people actually enjoy practicing their speeches. So assuming you actually know the speech and you are familiar with it, I think the reason that people still kind of look at their notes anyway is because of that intensity, and they feel the anxiety come up and they go down into their notes, and it's kind of the safe place. They'll look down in their notes and feel safe down there. So you look up at the audience and it's too intense. So you look down at your notes and it's like the safe place. You're down here. It's Friday night. It's a jacuzzi. You're listening to Adele. You're relaxed. And then you realize, okay, wait a minute now. I need to look at the audience. Okay, I'm going to go up. And you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so intense. I can't take it. Back down on the notes. So I think the solution to that is to feel the fear and do it anyway, and let the anxiety move through you. Go ahead and look at the audience, feel that intensity happen. It's totally normal and natural. And if you need to look down at your notes because you forgot what the next point is, go ahead and do that quickly, but then back up at the audience and then let the anxiety pass through you. You remember how I mentioned at the beginning of the semester this idea of taking a lime and cutting it in half, and taking a knife and cutting it in half again, and then taking that bit of quarter lime and taking a bite of the pulpy part, and feeling that intensity, no chaser, nothing to get that sour taste in your mouth, just because that's when you feel 100% alive, but it does pass through you. That taste of the intense lime flavor doesn't last forever. And that's the same thing with the anxiety that we feel about different parts of our speech skill process. We feel the anxiety at first, and then it kind of passes through you as you're looking at the audience and nothing bad is happening and you're getting your point across. The intensity goes away. Not completely, you wouldn't want that, but it simmers down a little bit. And so you're going to have that happen, and that's what you want to have happen. But you won't be able to do that if you keep bowing out every time the intensity comes in. Every time you feel that intensity, you look down at the notes, or you look down at the floor, or you look up at the ceiling, or you look at your PowerPoint screen. Try to connect with that audience. They really will like that. Eye contact communicates so many things. I mean, if you're watching a romantic comedy, you'll see people at the end say, tell me you don't love me and look me in the eye while you do it, and I'll never bother you again. And the reason they say that is because they feel like people are being honest when they're looking you in the eye. Now, I know there are professional liars that can look you in the eye and tell a lie. However, for most people, the prerequisite for truth telling, even if people are telling the truth, so that we know that they are telling the truth. Somehow we associate that with eye contact and we expect it. So that's the way to actually achieve it, is to first practice your speech and then feel the fear and let it, move through you and do the speech anyway. And then when you're feeling that connection with people, it's really very rewarding and you'll actually enjoy it. It'll actually be fun to connect with people on that more intense kind of way than if you were avoiding eye contact all the time. And it can be very rewarding for speakers, and you're seen as a confident speaker if you look people in the eye during your speeches. And that's not to say you couldn't refer to your notes when you need to. I mean, referring to your notes when you need to is totally acceptable. I recommend 3x5 cards for that. But then once you've gotten your information, go ahead and connect with people again. And I hope you enjoy that as much as I do when I'm giving presentations. So thanks for checking in with me about eye contact. I hope you enjoy your speeches, and we're looking forward to excellent high quality eye contact. And have an amazing day. Thanks so much.